You're about to lose her. Not because she stopped caring, but because you don't know how to handle distance. Right now, while you're overthinking her delayed replies and analyzing her tone shifts, you're bleeding attraction. And the worst part? You think chasing harder will fix it. It won't. It will finish it. Before you send that long emotional paragraph, before you ask her what's wrong, before you walk away out of wounded pride, watch this carefully. Because this moment, this exact emotional trigger you're feeling, is either where you collapse into neediness or rise into power. Most men give up too soon. Not because the relationship is dead, but because their ego can't tolerate uncertainty. She pulls back. She gets distant. She responds slower. And immediately, your mind spirals. You assume she's losing interest. You assume there's someone else. You assume it's over. So, you react. You text more. You try to clarify. You attempt to secure reassurance, and without realizing it, you shift the entire dynamic. You stop being centered. You start seeking. And once you start seeking, she starts pulling further away. Here's the truth most men never hear. Women rarely wake up one day and feel nothing. Attraction fades in stages. Mystery fades. Emotional tension softens. The challenge disappears. When she knows exactly how you feel, when she knows you'll always be there, when your availability becomes guaranteed, something subtle happens. The emotional edge dissolves, and tension is oxygen for attraction. Comfortable becomes predictable. Predictable becomes replaceable. That's not cruelty, that's psychology. When she pulls away, most men interpret it as rejection, but often it's recalibration. She's unconsciously asking questions she'll never verbalize. Is he emotionally stable? Or does he crumble under pressure? Is he grounded in himself? Or is he dependent on my validation? Is he choosing me? Or does he have no other options? And the moment you overreact, you answer those questions, not with words, but with behavior. She takes longer to respond. You double text. She cancels plans. You immediately reschedule. She seems colder. You increase effort. Every move communicates the same message. I'm afraid to lose you. And fear is the fastest way to lose leverage. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Her distance is outside events. Your reaction is within your control." But most men don't control their reaction. They let ego drive behavior. Let me interrupt something right now. You don't have a her problem. You have a control problem. You're trying to manage her emotions instead of mastering your own. That's where weakness begins. Stoicism isn't emotional suppression. It's emotional discipline. If her temporary distance destabilizes you, you weren't grounded. You were attached to outcome. And attachment without stability turns into neediness. Here's the shift that changes everything. Women don't fall in love with constant presence. They fall in love with emotional contrast. Contrast requires space. When you're always there, always available, always checking in, your presence becomes background noise. But when you withdraw calmly, not dramatically, not manipulatively, calmly, something changes. You become felt. Silence forces reflection. At first she won't notice. Then she'll assume you'll reach out. Then she'll wait. Then she'll wonder. And wondering is emotional engagement. Need control. So they sabotage the very need control. So they sabotage the very tension that could have restored attraction. You must understand this. Controlled distance is not a game. It's composure. It's refusing to overextend when energy isn't reciprocated. It's matching investment instead of exceeding it. And if she reaches out after creating distance, this is where the majority fail again. She disappears for days or weeks, then sends a casual, "Hey," and suddenly he responds like he just won something. Energy spikes. Enthusiasm floods. The old dynamic resumes. And just like that, she regains full emotional control. If she returns, you don't punish her, you don't interrogate her, but you also don't over-celebrate her. You stay steady, measured, unmoved. If she invests, you reciprocate. If she stays casual, you stay composed. You let her re-earn depth. Now here's the harder truth. Not every woman comes back. And that's not failure, that's filtration. If she only stays when chased, she was never choosing you. She was choosing attention. And you don't want a relationship built on pursuit. You want mutual desire. When you stop fearing loss, you stop behaving desperately. And when you stop behaving desperately, your value rises naturally. Power doesn't come from control over her. It comes from control over yourself. When your silence is real, not strategic, but internal, something shifts. She expects you to fold. When you don't, her certainty cracks. She starts checking your activity, rereading conversations, watching from a distance, not because you manipulated her, but because you removed predictability. Uncertainty generates emotion. But here's the critical condition. Your detachment must be genuine. If you're silent while obsessively monitoring her social media, she will feel that energy. Stoic detachment begins within. The ultimate shift is this. You don't win her by chasing. You win by becoming the man who doesn't need to. That doesn't mean you're cold. It means you're centered. It doesn't mean you're indifferent. It means you have standards. You focus on your discipline, your purpose, your growth, your direction. If she aligns, she aligns. If she leaves, she leaves. Your identity doesn't collapse with her decision. Most men will ignore this. They'll send the emotional paragraph. They'll demand clarity. They'll seek reassurance. And they'll repeat the same cycle with the next woman. But a small percentage will internalize this. They'll stop reacting, stop chasing, stop over-investing. They'll become steady. And steady men are rare. If you're done operating from fear of loss and ready to operate from discipline, subscribe to the Stoic Code. This is not just content, it's a standard. Average men react, Stoic men respond. If you're serious about becoming the kind of man who never has to chase, join the Stoic Code and step into the minority. Now make it real. In the comments, write, "I don't chase, I choose." Public commitment strengthens private discipline. And if you know a man who is about to sabotage something good because his ego can't handle distance, send this to him. Strength is shared forward. Seneca said, "He who is brave is free." Stop being controlled by fear of losing her. Master yourself, and you'll never have to beg anyone to stay.